On a storm-drenched night in Los Angeles, thunder cracking like a premonition, Thomas Forrester stands outside John Finn Finnegan's door with a revelation that unravels everything. There's no preamble, no pleasantries, just wet hair, clenched fists, and one devastating confession. Steffi gave birth in Monaco, in secret. She didn't want anyone to know, not even you, Finn reels. The words don't land like gossip, they detonate. He hasn't seen Steffi in weeks. She disappeared after their last argument about Luna's ongoing legal troubles and Spencer's grip on the media. She said she needed space. But this? Secret childbirth. Across the world. Thomas insists he's not the villain. He claims Steffi was terrified of scandal, of press helicopters circling the hospital, of an old enemy who'd resurfaced in whispers, never in full light. The truth, Thomas says, is that Steffi made a choice to protect her child above all. But now the birth has happened, and no one in the Forrester or Finnegan family knows. Not Ridge, not Taylor, not Lee, no press release, no baby photos. Just silence wrapped in secrecy. And only one person, Thomas says, can get through to her. If you go to Monaco, she talk. She needs to see you to believe she's safe. Finn doesn't wait. By morning, he's on a flight to Nice. By evening, he's on the coast, drenched again this time in Mediterranean rain as he walks the winding path to the private villa Steffi's been hiding in. When she opens the door, child in arms, her face is etched with exhaustion, grief, and fear. But she doesn't run. She lets him in, and she tells him everything. Yes, she gave birth here. Yes, she kept it secret. But it wasn't only about the press. She was coerced into signing a confidentiality agreement with a European medical philanthropist who had ties to Forrester International, a donor, a benefactor with quiet power and a history of helping women who needed to disappear from public view for safety. In exchange for access to a high-security birthing clinic, round-the-clock private care, and immunity from tabloid leaks, Steffi signed. She thought it was a clean trade until the fine print started tightening like a noose. She wasn't allowed to notify family. Not until a 6-month blackout period had passed. Her phone was monitored. Mail screened. The child's birth certificate was filed under a pseudonym. The protection became a gilded cage. And she suspects now that whoever offered her this shelter had ties to the very enemy she was trying to escape. But she can't prove it. Not yet. Meanwhile, back in L.A., Lee Finn's adoptive mother and a brilliant medical mind picks up on the tremor no one else sees. She'd heard whispers about Steffi traveling to Europe for health reasons, but never saw the proof. Curious, then suspicious, Lee accesses the European Physician Registry under her old international fellowship credentials. She traces a paper trail to a small but well-funded clinic outside Nice. She cross-references staff rosters and finds a discrepancy, a patient file labeled Baby X with no mother's name, no national ID, no birth certificate. The physician listed. One doctor. Decored a man previously investigated in a hush-hush scandal involving falsified maternity records linked to private adoptions for European elites. Lee goes deeper and uncovers medical records, lab results, and ultrasounds that have been backdated, digitally signed, and embedded with a signature encryption protocol that doesn't match Steffi's OBGYN in California. The file is fake. The birth was covered up. Lee calls Finn, tells him what she found. She urges him to bring Steffi and the baby home immediately. Whatever you're involved in, it's bigger than family drama. This is criminal, but Finn hesitates. Steffi begs him not to expose the truth, not yet. She fears retaliation from the donors' organization. Their reach, their silence. She says she needs just a few more months. Then they'll return. Then they'll fix it all. Finn is torn. His heart wants to believe her. But his oath, his training, his name, he knows what's happening isn't medicine. It's manipulation. He's ready to act. To bring the child home. to bring the truth to light. Then Luna makes her move. Seizing the vacuum of attention, Luna begins working behind the scenes to clean her name from months of scandal. She leaks court-sealed documents to a European investigative journalist, revealing that Thomas Forrester contacted Dr. I to court 3 months before Steffi even left the country. A direct email? A forwarded patient summary? A message from Thomas to the doctor stating she's not safe in LA. I need a secure exit strategy. The implications are nuclear. If Thomas arranged the clinic, if Thomas chose the doctor, if Thomas handpicked the facility, then everything he told Finn about Steffi being afraid, Steffi needing space, Steffi giving birth in exile for her safety was orchestrated. Not protective, controlling, maybe even political? The press catches wind. Articles explode across European media outlets before US. Reporters pick up the scent. Luna, now on a moral crusade, implies that this entire birth in exile operation was never about safety. It was a Forrester power playaway to shield the family name from media scrutiny while ensuring that the birth and narrative stayed under Forrester PR control. Luna claims Thomas used the baby as leverage, that he's been manipulating Finn all along, that Steffi's silence is loyalty wrapped in trauma. Finn begins to see it. The way Thomas urged him to go. The way Steffi looked at him when he arrived as if unsure whether she was grateful or terrified. The way the security guards at the villa weren't hired by the clinic, but by a Forrester-controlled security firm. He confronts Steffi, demands the full truth. Did she leave because she was scared or because she was told to? Steffi breaks. She admits that Thomas scared her, not with threats but with overwhelming protection. With stories of tabloid traps, of hidden microphones, of threats from Spencer-funded agents. He framed the outside world as a battlefield and made exile seem like safety. And when she hesitated, he made arrangements without her full consent. He kept her isolated under the guise of family love. And by the time she realized how deep she'd been buried, it was too late. Finn is done. He calls Lee. He sends encrypted medical documents. He breaks Steffi's contract with the donor group by publicly declaring the baby's name, birth date, and location. He files a formal complaint with international health authorities. He arranges emergency transport back to LA. And when they land, baby in arms, press swarming the runway, he makes a statement not just as a husband, but as a doctor. No child should be born in silence. No woman should be hidden for the comfort of others. This stops now. The fallout is immediate. Forrester's stock dips as headlines link them to private birthing scandals. Thomas is summoned for internal review. Steffi, shaken but now lucid, agrees to testify if necessary. Luna's suddenly riding a wave of media vindication positions herself as a whistleblower rather than a scandal magnet. And Ridge. He goes silent. For the first time in years, he has no words, no spin, no shield, because now the baby is real. The secret is out. And Finn, once a quiet doctor on the sidelines, has become the moral voice of a fractured empire. But as the dust settles, a final message is delivered. A small envelope slipped into the Forrester mailroom under no name. Inside is a photo grainy, but clear. A camera angle from the clinic's delivery room. Not of Steffi, not of the baby, of Thomas. In scrubs, standing at the foot of the delivery table. Smiling. The question no one is ready to ask. Did Thomas just protect his sister or orchestrate the birth of the next heir to the Forrester dynasty? In a season defined by betrayal, trauma, and the slow unraveling of trust, the bold and the beautiful shifts gears, but not softly. November's sweeps arc detonates at the heart of Forrester Creations, not with scandal from the outside, but with a bold, disruptive declaration from within. Ridge Forrester, the heir to legacy and taste, declares war on what he calls the toxic energy poisoning this brand from the inside out. It's not symbolic. It's a full-scale operational purge. The move comes after months of chaos, internal sabotage, personal feuds bleeding into business, criminal scandals splattered across headlines. Ridge has had enough. He calls an emergency meeting with the board and makes it clear Forrester Creations is no longer going to be a magnet for drama. There will be no more tolerance for backstage affairs masquerading as creative friction. No more whispered secrets behind marketing ploys. No more shady characters hiding behind fabric and flash. This isn't about aesthetics anymore. It's about survival, and Ridge is prepared to burn the rot to save the roots. The campaign is officially titled The Reset. Behind closed doors, it's more brutal than anyone expected. Contracts are put under review. Several mid-level creatives are let go with vague justifications. External partnerships that flirted with controversy are dissolved overnight. A long-term influencer deal is axed despite its reach after Ridge questions their value alignment. The social media department, which built a reputation on chaos and clickbait, is temporarily shut down? We are not selling scandal, Ridge says. We are designing peace. In the fashion world, it's suicide. Profits dip fast. Engagement tanks. The gossip accounts lose interest. Without their regular feed of dysfunction, Forrester starts vanishing from trending lists. Critics accuse Ridge of tone deafness in a digital age that thrives on drama. Shareholders panic. Marketing heads threaten to walk, but Ridge stays the course. He insists this is about more than quarterly numbers, it's about re-establishing soul. And in that spirit, he greenlights the most personal project the house has attempted in years, a full collection dedicated to healing. The new line, aptly titled Resurge, is a thematic rebirth. Garments designed around restoration, color palettes chosen to evoke renewal, cuts intended to give comfort and confidence rather than shock. Ridge taps Hope and Zende as creative leads. Steffi oversees the narrative rollout. Even Carter is pulled in to make sure contracts reflect the company's new ethics-first stance. The team works obsessively. Late nights, early calls, fewer headlines, but more cohesion. The collection becomes more than a strategy, it becomes a statement. But statements don't come without enemies. As launch week approaches, Forrester's energy shifts. There's a buzz in the air, but it's laced with paranoia. Anonymous emails begin surfacing. Not threats, just nudges. Reminders of old mistakes. Hints that not everyone inside supports Ridge's purge. Security is increased. Access badges are tracked. There are whispered concerns that Deke and Remy, previously exiled after being exposed in a prior sabotage, may not be as gone as they seemed. But there's no proof. Just silence and eyes over shoulders. Then, the disaster. On the night of the final dress rehearsal, the last full run-through before the global launch panic breaks out, Zende discovers the flagship piece of the entire collection is missing. Not misplaced. Replaced. The design, originally a layered silk hand organza wrap dress meant to symbolize rebirth, is gone. In its place is a crude, rushed knockoff. The stitching is sloppy. The fabric wrong, but what matters isn't just the damage, it's what's left behind. Pinned to the lining of the fake garment is a single mark, a stylized glyph. It looks like a scribble to most, but to Ridge, it's unmistakable. It's the same symbol from a sketch pad found months ago. Belonging to Remy? The same shorthand Deke used to tag his off-the-books mock-ups when leaking Forrester prototypes to Spencer insiders. It's not a calling card. It's a taunt. Security is called in immediately. The entire design floor is locked down. But the damage has already been done. The reveal is delayed. Media starts asking questions. Creative delay is the official excuse, but insiders leak rumors about sabotage. Hope is devastated. This was her most meaningful project since the fall of hope for the future. Zende is enraged, not just at the breach, but at himself for not catching it sooner. Ridge, for the first time in weeks, shows signs of doubt. Then, the fallout. Internally, Ridge orders a deeper sweep. He doesn't just want Deke and Remy found, he wants their network exposed. He brings in a private investigator. Every badge login is traced. Every work terminal is scanned. And suddenly, names begin surfacing. People inside the company who may have been sympathetic to Deke and Remy's old cause. Former interns, bitter ex-employees, one senior fabric beer who mysteriously took a leave of absence after the last scandal. The mole isn't just a ghost, it's potentially still in the building. The sabotage forces Forrester to halt shipments, cancel preview shipments to celebrity stylists, and hold the collection until integrity can be confirmed. The delay costs them hundreds of thousands, but Ridge refuses to launch under threat. His campaign to eliminate toxicity is being tested in real time, and he won't fold. Meanwhile, Bill Spencer denies involvement. Publicly, he distances himself from Remy, whom he claims was rogue and terminated with prejudice. But behind closed doors, he's furious. If Remy and Deke are acting without sanction, they're dragging his name down with them. If they are working with someone inside Forrester still loyal to him, he wants plausible deniability. He puts his own team on the hunt not to expose the truth, but to control it. Back at Forrester, Steffi begins quietly interviewing the remaining staff, trying to determine who could have facilitated the design swap. A pattern emerges. Someone with high-level clearance. Someone trusted. Someone present during after-hours rehearsals. The evidence narrows in on someone unexpected, a junior operations assistant hired recently during the rebuilding phase. When cornered, the assistant cracks. They admit they were paid. Not much, but enough. The payment came in crypto through an encrypted platform. They were told to switch one garment. Nothing more. They didn't know what it meant. They didn't ask. But then comes the bombshell. That same assistant mentions a name. Not Deke, not Remy. A third party. A middleman. Known only by an alias Redvolf. It's a name that doesn't ring any immediate bells, but when Ridge runs the moniker past Carter, a chill hits. Redvolf was the username associated with a dormant shell company that once held licensing rights to a digital fashion startup funded by Spencer Ventures. It's not a smoking gun, but it's fire. The trail, cold for months, is burning again. Ridge realizes the game is deeper, more intricate. The attack on the dress wasn't just a personal jab, it was a test. A signal that the sabotage machine is still alive, still watching, and still able to strike from the shadows. But this time, he's ready. He reassigns the security lead. He installs biometric locks on all design storage. He forces a delay on all unsupervised freelance collaborations. And most importantly, he launches an internal ethics division run not by HR, but by Steffi and Carter directly. Its mandate: identify, isolate, and eliminate lingering threats. Resurge will relaunch, not in secret, but in spotlight. Ridge makes the decision to go public not about the dress theft, but about the fight. He releases a new campaign video, re-edited to feature the struggle behind the collection. The message is raw. Healing isn't clean. Revival is painful. But truth is always worth it. The audience responds. Engagement spikes. Pre-orders bounce back. The pain becomes part of the story, and suddenly, the risk begins to pay off. But one mystery remains. Deke and Remy haven't been seen. And as Ridge looks over the resecured prototype of the missing garment, now restored to its original form, he notices something. A second mark. Faint. Burned into the hem. Not Remy's. Not Dex. Something new. Proof that whatever war Forrester thought was ending has only just evolved. And in this new chapter, no one is safe, not from sabotage, not from legacy, and certainly not from the past that refuses to stay buried.